Let's talk about something that's been in your mouth since childhood. And no, not your dentist's nightmare. I'm talking about food dye. The magical little chemicals that make your cereal look like a rainbow and your candy shine like it just walked off a highlighter convention. Because depending on who you ask, food dyes are either harmless modern miracles or tiny, colorful villains plotting against your health one Skittle at a time. But here's the question. Are these colorful additives harmless fun? Or are we basically eating paint? Let's find out right here on History of Food. Let's rewind to where it all began, the late 1800s. Back then, food coloring wasn't exactly regulated. People used things like arsenic, mercury, and lead to colored candy and drinks. Yeah, lead. Imagine giving your kid a lemon drop laced with a neurotoxin. Don't worry, sweetie, it's just a little extra crunch for your brain. Thankfully, by the early 1900s, the government realized, hey, maybe we shouldn't let people eat poison, and began regulating dyes. Enter the era of synthetic food colorings, man-made, stable, and supposedly safer. Today, we've got a whole lineup of additives like Red 40, Yellow 5, and Blue 1, names that sound more robotic than edible. But here's the thing, we eat with our eyes first. If food doesn't look appealing, we don't trust it. Color tells our brains, this is sweet, this is fruity, or this is fresh. Bright red means delicious strawberry, yellow says tropical mango, and green screams probably lime but could be toxic waste. Marketers figured this out early. Add some color and you can make almost anything seem more appetizing. Your childhood favorites, Fruit Loops, Jell-O, Kool-Aid, even pickles, owe a big part of their charm to a chemical rainbow. But then, people started to panic. Somewhere between the 1970s and the internet age, food dyes went from fun to suspect. Suddenly, Red 40 was the bad guy, Yellow 5 was the sneaky accomplice, and parents everywhere were convinced Blue 1 was turning their kids into hyperactive gremlins. So where did all that fear come from? It started in 1973 when Dr. Benjamin Feingold, an allergist, suggested that artificial colors and flavors might cause hyperactivity in children. His diet plan, removing synthetic additives, became wildly popular. Parents reported calmer kids, fewer tantrums, and better focus. But science, as always, had to crash the party. Multiple studies since then have found mixed results. Some show a small link between food dyes and hyperactivity, mostly in children already sensitive to such things. Others found no measurable difference at all. In short, food dyes might make some kids extra bouncy, but they're not the universal cause of chaos in kindergarten classrooms. Now, before we start burning boxes of Lucky Charms, let's get into what regulators actually say. In the United States, the FDA oversees all food colorings. They only approve dyes after extensive safety testing, including animal studies, toxicity levels, and long-term exposure assessments. Each approved color gets an FD and C number, meaning it's certified for use in food, drugs, and cosmetics. For example, Red 40, Yellow 5, and Blue 1 all passed these tests decades ago and continue to be reviewed. But, and this is a colorful but, the European Union is a bit stricter. In Europe, many foods with artificial colors must carry a label warning that they may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. That's why your bag of Skittles in the US might be glowing neon, while the European version looks like it was colored with soft pastels. Now let's be fair. Not all criticism is unfounded. Some studies suggest that certain dyes, especially Red 3, used in maraschino cherries and old-school candy, have been linked to thyroid tumors in rats. Others raised concerns that dyes like Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 might cause allergic reactions in sensitive individuals. But here's the nuance. Those effects happen at massive doses, way beyond what you'd ever eat. You'd have to drink gallons of dyed soda or eat literal pounds of candy daily to reach those levels. Of course, the natural food movement had its say. Companies began switching to natural colors made from beet juice, turmeric, paprika, and spirulina. Sounds wholesome, right? But natural dyes fade, change under heat, and don't always look great. Your red velvet might turn brown, and your blue cereal might look like it gave up halfway. That's why artificial dyes are still everywhere. They're cheaper, brighter, and longer lasting. Basically, Photoshop for food. So, are they dangerous or not? Short answer, not really for most people. Food dyes aren't evil, just misunderstood. FDA-approved dyes are safe in normal amounts. If you're not chugging neon slushies daily, you're fine. But if you or your kid get mood swings or rashes after eating bright foods, try going dye-free for a few weeks. Some people really are sensitive. Here's the twist. The food dyes themselves might not be the villain. It's the foods they're in. Think about it. What foods need bright artificial color? Candy, soda, processed snacks, cereal, chips. Not exactly pillars of nutrition. It's not the color that's unhealthy. It's the sugar, refined carbs, and additives surrounding it. If your plate is constantly neon, it's probably not coming from spinach. There's fascinating psychology behind food color. Red and yellow make us hungrier, hello McDonald's, while blue kills appetite because our brains link it to mold. The good news? The industry's catching on. More brands now use plant-based dyes from things like purple sweet potatoes, butterfly pea flowers, and algae-based blues. Your kid's mac and cheese might be less neon, but at least you can pronounce what's in it. At the end of the day, food dyes are one of those things that sound scarier than they are. They've been demonized, defended, tested, banned, unbanned, and memed to death. But in reality, they're just another example of how we humans like our food to look as fun as it tastes. So don't panic over the occasional colored treat. Enjoy the rainbow, responsibly. Maybe save the fluorescent cupcakes for birthdays, not breakfast. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.